I'm Mac Robinson, joined by my co-host Elena Davis. On today's episode, we'll be taking a look at some places to visit, some must-see events, camps for kids. We'll also speak with a mental health specialist, and we'll be joined in studio by a chef who will show us how to eat light and keep the summer bright. Welcome to Connections Cleveland.
First up, we have joining us Rebecca, who went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, I had the opportunity to go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I spoke with Catherine Klessman. She's the head of communications there, and she talked a little bit about the summer events that they have going on at the Rock Hall, as well as some of the exhibits that they have as well.
Thanks, Rebecca.
Connections Cleveland had the opportunity to talk to Catherine Klessman at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame about what amazing events they have going on this summer.
Catherine Klessman, and I'm the manager of family and community programs here at the Rock Hall. So the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has been in Cleveland for 23 years now. It was picked in Cleveland for a lot of reasons, but one, because a lot of people consider it the birthplace of at least the term rock and roll, thanks to Alan Freed. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has been sort of the key history collection and exhibit area place for artifacts and celebration of rock and roll for as long as it's been here now, so for 23 years. So in order to get inducted, you have to be at least part of you have to have at least been producing music for 20 years, and after that, then you can be eligible. You have to have some impact or influence on music and rock and roll, and so a lot of times people think rock and roll has to be one very specific thing, but there's a lot of really early influencers who laid the groundwork for rock and roll. One of the reasons Sister Rosetta Tharpe this year got inducted as an early influence, and why Nina Simone this year also got inducted as an inductee along with your more typical rock bands that you think of, but it's why we're also constantly looking outside of just what sort of the classical term of rock and roll is to those, rock and roll is more of an innovator and helping shape and change music, and music is always changing and always evolving. So there's a lot of different groups and people that get inducted. We have what we call Rock Hall Live, which is our series of a ton of stuff going on this summer. A lot of free music. Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, you can come out and just enjoy live music during your lunch. We also have evening sunsets on Thursdays and Fridays in July and August. We have tons of other really great events. Summer in the City kicks off at the end of July, and that's a 5-week series of live music where we pair a more national name, a more well-known name that's touring, and we pair them with a local artist. So you get a little bit of both, and this year's theme is Women Who Rock. So they're all women-led bands or women artists, which we're really excited about. We have a ton of other events going on. We're doing a couple different sort of celebrations here. Tailgate is coming up, which is right next door at the stadium. Taylor Swift is having a concert, so right before then, on People's Way Over, we're having some live music and some celebrations in conjunction with that. Same thing when Jay-Z and Beyonce are next door. We're going to have a pre-party event here. We've got a couple inductees coming this year. Wanda Jackson is coming on July 21st, and we're gonna have a big event there. There's some VIP discussion things up in our big Foster Theater, as well as a performance with a couple other artists. We have a big family event on July 28th. One of our biggest events this summer is Klipsch Fest, where we're having a big festival down here of live music. We just recently announced our headliner, which is Social D, which we're really excited about. We're still lining up all the other details of who else will be performing that day. And then I know we've got a drummer spotlight later on in the summer too, beginning of August. The majority of our events this summer are free, and so I think a lot of people don't necessarily think, oh, I can come down for a free concert, but you can.
Speaking of music, taking it from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, we had Miss Aaliyah Stefan go to Wade Oval Wednesday. Aaliyah, tell us more about that.
So Wade Oval Wednesday was actually amazing. Lost State of Franklin was there every week, so it's every Wednesday from 5 to 9, and they have a different band every Wednesday, and of course they have different food trucks, vendors, and it goes until August 15th. Oh, nice. And on the 15th, they'll have a firework tribute, and they'll actually be able to sell different handmade products, local handmade products. Nice. And yeah, it was really awesome.
Cleveland's Wade Oval Wednesday celebrates their 14th annual summer event. Every week, they highlight different artists, and this Wednesday, I had the chance to watch Lost State of Franklin live. The tribute band features J. Scott Franklin, the lead vocalist. He was accompanied by Jeremy Cottrell, upright bass player, Dan Morris, the lead guitarist, and Dan Ali on the drums. WOW is this summer's hottest event, making it easier for you to try some of your favorite food spots, including Cleveland's reputable Barrio. My favorite part was watching children play, loved ones enjoying the company of their family members, and seeing people dance along with the music. Wade Over Wednesday is right in the heart of University Circle and allows Clevelanders to visit select museums as well. The event runs from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. and will be going on until August 15th, ending with the grand finale of fireworks. It was an honor for Connections Cleveland to attend this summer's event, and I would greatly recommend everyone to check out Wade Over Wednesday.
Cleveland has always been known for its cultural diversity, and over the weekend, we sent our own Adonis Terrell and Felix Pavlotsky to the Lebanese Festival in La Placita 2018. Tell us a little bit about it, guys.
So I went to La Placita. It's part of the project for La Villa Hispana, La Villa Hispana, and it was in Ohio City. There was a lot of dancing. There was a lot of festive music, a lot of great food. I recommend anybody that is able to make it to the next one in August attend, and you'll have a great time. As part of our coverage on summer in Cleveland, I had the opportunity to visit La Placita 2018. Everyone was excited to get to all of the festivities. Lots of work went into preparations to make everything taste just right. There were varieties of food, and I wanted to try them all. But make sure you bring cash. All the food would make your mouth water. They loved the food.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Gracias.
There were also friendly vendors. Lots of merchandise was on sale, from handcrafts, jewelry, to candles. And who can't forget the live cultural music?
Oh, 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 aria, yo, oba, 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 vai pandeiro!
Back to you.
I went to the Lebanese Festival in Parma on West Ridgewood Drive, and it was great. Lots of food, lots of family. They had T-shirts and a bazaar market where you could purchase clothing and jewelry. It was a really good time. Family oriented. Anyone come from the kids to the grandmothers, and it was great.
Did you know that Lebanon has roots that have been in existence for over 4,000 years? And the cedar tree of Lebanon is mentioned in the Bible 75 times. They also share notable celebrities like Ralph Nader, Doug Flutie, Danny Issa, and Casey Kasem. They have a rich history and heritage of food, with dishes of chicken and vegetables. People line up to get a taste of the decadent bread and meat. They've made enough for a large turnout crowd, and the food smells amazing. They also have delicious sweet desserts, such as baklava and coffee treats. Their food is seasoned with bold flavor, and their dough is crafted with perfection. Merchandise is sold at the bazaar market, where you can pick up clothes and jewelry. Though here in America, Lebanese culture is here to stay.
Speaking of cultural heritage, we sent out our own correspondent, James Cardarelli, to the Cultural Gardens, and James actually joining us in the studio. James, why don't you tell us more about your trip to the gardens there?
Yeah, Mac, I headed over to the Cultural Gardens on Martin Luther King Boulevard and East Boulevard
in Rockefeller Park and see the more than 30 gardens that make up Cleveland's Cultural Gardens. Designed and cultivated by distinct cultural or nationality groups, the Cultural Gardens represent the diversity and multiculturalism that is Cleveland. Founded in 1916, the Cultural Gardens' mission is to find peace through mutual understanding. Visiting the Cultural Gardens is a summer experience you do not want to miss. The amazing architecture and scenery shows exactly why Cleveland is a great place to live during the summer. The Cleveland Cultural Gardens are unique in the world. Cleveland is home to about 120 distinct ethnic groups, and this diversity has led to this one-of-a-kind treasure. As of 2018, there were 30 established cultural gardens and 8 more in development. Each has a sign and a flag of the nation it represents. The gardens depict notable cultural figures and monuments to significant achievements. There is rich history throughout these gardens. The statues and inscriptions represent artists, writers, composers, philosophers, peacemakers, saints, and scientists. And you can learn about them all at Cleveland's Cultural Gardens. This was Connections Cleveland, Summer in Cleveland.
Up next, I actually went to the Cleveland Indians youth baseball camp out in Strongsville, and I actually got a chance to interview the Indians manager of youth baseball development, Matt Cada. Hi, I'm Mac Robinson with Connections Cleveland, and I'm joined today by Matt Cada, Cleveland Indians manager of youth baseball. And Matt, so why don't you go ahead and just give us a run through of everything that the Indians do with their youth camps here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I get the pleasure. I call it the second best job in the world, other than being able to wear this uniform on, Progressive Field in the big leagues. But man, I'm so grateful to work for ownership and an organization that's so committed to youth baseball. And so youth baseball development, our main programs are our summer camps. We're here in Strongsville. We got 80 kids who are chowing down on some pizza behind us, but it's been a great week. Our camps are 5-day camps, full day, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And really, when you look at our goal, these guys arrived on Monday, and our goal is on Friday when they're leaving here in a couple hours is just to love the game a little more than they came in on Friday, be a little better, develop their skills, and then obviously fall in love a little more with the Indians. So, when you look at bringing them here, giving them some direction so that they can, have a little more success or have some better tools to, have a little more success, which will build a little bit of that confidence, and then hopefully, increase their desire to keep playing. And then, as much as we can incorporate the players that we have currently on a roster or within our workbook, we're going back into the history and some of the players that, paved the way. I think really important to just make that connection and then to hopefully get them to just understand the game a little better, play it a little better, and then just kind of, develop that connection, with our players. And a good example is that we, yesterday we had Neil Ramirez, one of our, bullpen guys who've come in and kind of helped solidify that back end in the bullpen, but he came out. We got a great clubhouse of guys who are just really devoted to giving back to the community. So I love to hear that. Yeah. So that if the schedule works out, or the team's at home and we're out at camp, we've had Cody Allen, Naco, and Trevor Bauer my first year. These guys have come out and really given back.
We are very excited to be joined by Mr. Edward Hill. Thank you so much for coming out.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, no problem. So Mr. Hill has worked in hospital, academic, and nonprofit settings in care management, group therapy, and individual counseling for over 13 years. That's such a long time.
Making me feel old.
No, you're not old. You're not old. But you must obviously love your job, right?
Yes, definitely love working in healthcare. Definitely love working with patients. I find it really to be like a mystery to unravel to help people work with their problems.
Okay. Well, tell us a little bit about the Health and Wellness Center and what you guys do and what services people can expect when they come.
We have a wide array of services. So we're a private group practice in the behavioral health area, focused on individual psychotherapy and group psychotherapy as well. So we have lots of different skilled therapists working with patients from as young as 4 to patients well into their 60s and 70s. We have individuals that have specialties in addiction, PTSD, trauma, depression, anxiety, some that work with adolescents and children. We have an art therapist on staff. So we have a wide array of individuals highly skilled to help people with issues of all ranges, from couples counseling to substance abuse to helping a parent work with their young child to helping someone in their 40s, 50s transition, whether it's from a divorce or a new career opportunity.
That's amazing. That's a lot of services. I didn't think that there was that many. And I've been to therapy before, and I never realized that there were that many services that were offered. That's amazing. Now, do you work with the younger kids as well?
I typically, probably the youngest I would work with, I would say around 8 years old.
Okay. And do you enjoy working with the younger children, or do you prefer the older teenagers and, senior citizens?
The range of patients I work with is probably about 8 years old to people, and people into their 60s.
Okay.
But I enjoy working with really all age ranges. I would say the majority of people I see are adults, 20s, 30s, and 40s.
Okay. And do you have any tips for people struggling with anxiety or depression during the summer months, just something to get them through?
Well, I would say a big thing, too, is to stay active. And also to seek help and support. Anxiety can be a condition, as well as depression, that people tend to isolate. They tend to avoid doing things that would be good for them, help push them through their anxiety. I'm a really big fan of mindfulness, and not necessarily meditating for 20 minutes in the morning, at night, but really small practices, such as breathing exercises, grounding exercises, taking a walk outside, developing a gratitude list, things that you're grateful for. I think with anxiety, it takes developing lots of little skills that you can use to disrupt and to be more aware when you start to feel that sensation, whether it's in your chest or some of your thoughts that start to spiral in negative ways.
Okay. And then what are some tips that you have for the wintertime, when people can't get out and be as active?
Yeah, the wintertime, especially here in Cleveland, I think we see more people that struggle with depression. I think it's also a time where substance abuse, self-medicating ramps up. Also a lot of times around the holidays, people that don't have the best relationships with their family, those can be stressors. I would say during the winter months, it's really important to make sure you actually are able to exercise, eat a healthy diet, and really seek support. We don't have as many options and things to do to be outside.
Right.
I know a lot of doctors recommend, supplementing with vitamin D here in Cleveland, which can help elevate your mood. I think really it's just getting involved in activities with others, being engaged with your family, and just talking to other people that you love and that are supportive in your life.
Okay, that's really good. Now, there have been some studies done in the past, for example, with Google done in 2013, correlating the summertime with fewer search results in the U.S. and Australia for various mental health issues like ADHD, anxiety, and some eating disorders. Given some of these results, do you see fewer traffic during the summer months? And if you do, what do you feel lead to these decreases?
We were talking about that at the office, and I don't really see much of a drop-off during the summer. I think some people don't come as often, but I think people are always needing therapy. I think when you think ADHD, you think of children and adolescents. I think when they're out of the school environment, out of the stressful structure, also the parents have more time to spend with their children. I think here in Cleveland that the summer probably is a good time for people to be able to connect with those important to them. But we still see a large amount of patients during the summer. I would just say that I think the severity of whether it's depression especially, substance abuse, and even anxiety is probably worse during the winter months.
Okay.
But I think people are always needing support. I know I see some young college students, individuals about to enter college, and there's some anxiety before they're going to go away from living at home with their parents or transitioning to that next phase of their life.
Now, when you see someone, typically, how long do you see them for? Is it like a 6-month program, a year program? Like, how long do you normally see a person?
So I would say typically, they're usually weekly 1-hour sessions. It kind of depends where the person is. Sometimes they come in once a week, sometimes twice a week. I would say the average amount of time that somebody is in therapy could probably be 3 to 6 months, kind of depending upon how quickly they meet their goals. I mean, there's all other types of factors too, insurance, finances. There are a lot of different things that are a part of how long somebody is in therapy. I believe in more of a solution-focused, getting people to their goals, helping them develop specific interventions and skills so that when they're outside of the therapeutic office, they can use those tools and skills to navigate anxiety or any issues that come up in their life. I think also then after a while, people will just come in for checkups, whether it's once a month, every 2 or 3 months.
Okay.
It's always different.
Well, from all of us here at Connections Cleveland, we would like to say thank you so much for taking your time out and coming to speak with us. We greatly appreciate it. And if you would like to get in contact with Mr. Edward Hill or any of his colleagues, the Cleveland Health and Wellness Center can be found at 2525 Detroit Road in Rocky River, or they can be reached at 216-777-8834. Thank you so much again.
Thank you so much.
Welcome back to Connections Cleveland. On this segment, we have Chef Anwar Roberts, and he's going to teach us a few tips and tricks to keep cool this summer in the kitchen. So first up, what do we have?
Your first dish is a tomato, avocado, and coconut vinaigrette salad. I'm going to go ahead and let you try it first, and I'm going to elaborate on it.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you for bringing us food. That's my biggest thing. I love food. I'm like trying to get a tomato and an avocado. If I can get it. Gosh, I'm sorry. It's like taking a long time. Okay.
All right. Okay, dig in here as much as I can. There we go. A little bit of avocado. Come on. All right. It's like playing keep away.
So,
That is amazing.
thank you.
And I'm not a big fan of coconut, but it is actually really amazing.
So, if you understand, coconut is a natural natural aphrodisiac, if I can say that correctly. But it hydrates you as well, which a lot of people don't know. Back in the day, they used it as IV drips to keep the body hydrated. So what I did was I extracted the coconut water, reduced it, and I made it into a vinaigrette, infused it with fresh basil. So that's where you get the little tang of basil at the end. The avocado is a fatty food, but a good fat. It has also good fiber, protein, and vitamins as well. So with a lot of times when you combine certain foods, you get that natural word. I want to, since we're on the air, I want to stay kosher here, but you can stay regular, So a lot of individuals don't know that. So I like to put together certain items at the same time that, again, it can help you, one, aid in digestion, protein, your immune system, and weight loss at the same time, which I'm lacking from, but.
Well, that is amazing. What's the next one here?
Your next dish, this is quinoa and chickpea. So if you're familiar with falafel, so instead of frying it, I baked it.
Okay.
Okay. Go ahead. So yes, go ahead first.
Sure.
I really wish we had plates here.
Yeah, plates would make it a little easier.
Yeah, just a little bit.
There you go. That's what I like
I got
to
a
see.
good one.
That's what I like to see.
I dropped it.
It's okay.
This is delicious.
Yeah, it really is.
So now you guys know that chickpea, a lot of folks think it's originally from the Mediterranean, but it also existed in Southeast Asia as well. So it migrated up to the Mediterranean, then to the Middle East, and then to here. What I like about chickpeas, again, if you look at it is high in fiber, high in protein. It's good for diabetics as well, type 1 and type 2, but also in moderation though. So remember that.
Yeah.
Remember that. Then I also have radishes, not just for texture, but also, again, you're looking at hydration in its raw form. Radishes, I always tell people to always use in raw form and don't cook them, because you cook out the natural minerals and vitamins and nutrients in it. So keep it raw. I also have in here butter lettuce, and I also use the leaves of the radish as well, and those have benefits as well.
Okay, yeah. Definitely, you can definitely kind of taste that in there as well. It's really fantastic.
Thank you.
Definitely, I loved it.
Okay, the next dish is everyone loves wings, but I always like to do a rendition on wings. So instead of frying them, and especially being in the summertime, I wanted to bake them. But what I did was I took the mimic of gyros. You ever had chicken gyros?
Yes.
So I made a marinade to mimic chicken gyros.
Okay.
So it has a little bit of cucumber juice, marinade and whatnot. But I'll let you go ahead and try it, and I will.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, by all means.
I'm supposed to be the vegetarian here, and you're making me
Hey,
go
you
first.
know what? I'll let you experience it first.
Okay. I like it. It's really good. That's amazing.
Yeah, you can taste the herbs on there as well.
I definitely like it better.
So what I did was I extracted the juice from the cucumber and added cardamom, coriander, and cumin. And those are basic ingredients in Middle Eastern cuisine, especially when you're doing gyros. Let that marinate for over 24 hours and then baked it off.
Oh yeah, you can
So,
definitely taste the cucumber juice in there for sure.
Yes, sir.
And it's not dry either.
No, it isn't.
I like that you marinate it for 24 hours because it's very juicy.
And cucumbers have a natural enzyme that can help break down. So if you want to marinate something like meat, for example, I also use cucumber when I do lamb. Lamb shoulder, yogurt, and cucumber has, like I said, natural enzymes to help break down, almost like an acid, like vinegar or lemon juice. But at the same time, you adding hydration as well to your dish, so which is nice.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you have next over here?
Okay, your next dish is a simple shrimp and grits. I'll go ahead and let you try that, and then I'll elaborate on that.
I don't say nothing about that looks simple. It looks amazing.
Yeah. You have food.
I'll dive in first here. Sure about that. There we go. Okay. All right.
So much for being a vegetarian today, huh?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah. No, for sure. For those of you at home, coming in here, I could already smell that right off the bat. And, I mean, you can really just kind of smell like the aroma of it and everything like that. You could definitely tell like the flavors are really, really nice.
Thank you.
It's amazing. And what I love too is you cooked your shrimp all the way through.
Yes.
I've been to a lot of places and the shrimp is not cooked all the way through. And it's like very chewy and like mushy. And
Yes, it is, yes.
But that is actually very delicious. And I love that you cooked the shrimp all the way through.
So what I did with the grits is the color that you see is yellow. So I add turmeric to the water and then a little bit of chicken base.
Okay.
And then garlic and onion powder. So that's the starting base for the grits. Turmeric has another medicinal purpose. It's antioxidant, excuse me, and it's good for the blood. And so turmeric, cinnamon, star anise, if you ever hear those terms, those are in the same family. So you definitely want to ingratiate yourself with those types of spices, in your cuisine. The shrimp, so to Creole, do my little Creole spice. So it has chili powder, smoked paprika, regular paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, a little bit of dry mustard, salt, pepper.
Okay.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
And I want to point out really quickly before we move on, I like that all of your meals, they include, and not all of them, but a few of them include meat or some type of fish product. But it's very healthy. It benefits you in a healthy way.
Right.
And I'm definitely going to need some tips and tricks because I don't think I want to be a vegetarian anymore.
Yes,
I think I just want to eat like this.
Well, I'm actually going to a pescatarian. I'm working on that as we because I used to be close to 400 pounds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the sad part about that story is I got down to 250 living in Hawaii, and then I came back to the States and put about 80 pounds back on. So. Like I said, in the last couple of weeks, I've been really focusing on staying away from bad carbs, especially pastas, breads and whatnot. So within a week, I'm already dropped 10 pounds. But staying away from the carbs and but working out though, you got to work out. But that's the key. But again, moderation is the key. But again, like chickpeas does have carbs. So you don't have to just say I'm staying away from carbs. There are other substitutions that you can use in place of carbs. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm definitely going to need those tips too. So. But what do you have for us last year?
The last is a deconstructed peach cobbler. So what I did was, instead of peach cobbler has again carbs, gluten, dough. So I extracted that. I didn't want to do that. So what I did was I took a peach and cut it in half, cored it out. And I cored out the peaches and chopped it up and mixed it with brown sugar, cinnamon, allspice, a little bit of ginger, just a teaspoon of salt, and that's it. And put it back in the peach, and then baked it off.
That sounds amazing.
You want to go first?
Yes, I do. I want
I'm sure you.
I've been wanting some
I can tell. I can
weeks
tell.
now. There we go. I've been wanting some peach cobbler for
So the intention was to cut that in half so they can get a half piece, but she grabbed the whole thing. So I like that.
I'm sorry.
Well, she likes to go for gold. That's how we kind of go with it here. But.
Sorry, but I didn't eat breakfast today, guys. This is so amazing.
Not overly powerfully sweet at all.
Right.
Again, and that's a white peach, and I just think they have a little more sugar content than the regular peach does, which is nice.
I like that you left the skin on her too.
Yes, I did. And also for you guys who like spirits, like if you like Moscato, white Moscato, the peaches are a good item to put in your white wine, like a Chardonnay. You can add that adds a little sugar to it. Great white grapes, and red grapes as well. Yeah, if you want it, like I said, that's just for you guys who like spirits.
Yeah, no, I mean this is fantastic, honestly.
Thank you.
Might go back for a second.
Go right ahead.
I mean, she got the full one, so I'm just grabbing.
It's only right that you get a full one.
Yeah,
Go right ahead.
Well, thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
This food is amazing.
Thank you.
Is there anything you'd like to add?
Just in general, that if you combine all these on one plate, that they all complement each other. And what I did was, if you look at each dish, it has its own identity, but at the same time, it shares certain components with other cultures. Like this is Polynesian and Southeast Asian. This is Middle Eastern and also Southeast Asian. This is Middle Eastern, Southeast Asian as well, South American, and New Orleans, like Creole style. And then again, the pears, Asian/American, but at the same time, taking different spices and components and making them work. Because I think sometimes when people do fusion, they can make things overpower the dish. So, and like I said, you want to make sure that everything complements one another.
Yeah.
So.
And that was the one thing that I took away too, is the fact that sometimes you'll have people that when they think that they want to get kind of crazier with, like what you were saying with the fusions, like you might get some things that kind of punch you in the mouth with some of the flavors, but it was some of the more subtle notes that you get out of that I really took away that was really fantastic, and it's that much better.
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
No, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, and it was all amazing. And with each dish, I got to taste every component. You know what I mean? I didn't get just the chickpeas are here. I didn't get just the avocado or just the tomato. I didn't get just chicken.
Yes,
I didn't get just shrimp and grits. You know what I mean? I didn't get just peach cobbler. I was able to taste all of the components in there, and that made it amazing. Now, if people want to try your food, how can they get in contact with you?
Well, I'm starting, this is slow now, but I'm starting off just relocated back to Ohio. I do have a website which I would like to read off. You have to excuse me, it's still in building process.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good.
It is https semicolon / my first name is Anwar, ANWAR, Roberts, ROBERTS, .wixsite.com / Global Soul. So the name of the business is Global Soul Fusion. So I'm taking components of global, and I mean, it's self-explanatory, of course, but global cuisine, but tweaking it so that everyone can have it. So individuals who haven't been introduced to Indian cuisine can eat Indian food, based off how I do it, or Middle Eastern food, or Southeast Asian. When I say Southeast Asian, like Thai, they have very aromatic, flavors and whatnot. So you can say I can be reached there. That's the website, and then I will also give my number out here too, which is 216-410-9309. We are working on catering, which include more intimate catering, catering small events, people of 10 to 15 to 20. And I'm also working on a romantic menu, which I used to do in Hawaii back in the day, where it's a 5-course meal, and it's a drink pairing with each course as well. And that'll be in the near future.
Has anybody ever finished that?
What, the 5-course?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah?
Oh, yes. Yes. It's more of a tasting. It's not, full.
Okay.
Yes.
Not the full blown,
Right.
just giving them the
Right.
taste to bring them back.
Right. Right.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you to all of our guests, as well as all of you today, for tuning in to this episode of Connections Cleveland, Summer in Cleveland special.